Hello! It is July 5th when I'm recording this, and I'm recording it really late in the afternoon because I live in Tennessee, so on July 4th, everything blows up and the air is filled with smoke. So because I didn't sleep very well last night, and because even with the doors closed and the air conditioner running and the windows closed, I still inhaled smoke. My allergies, my sinuses just laid me out this morning. And so I had to take diphenhydramine, which is Benadryl. So that laid me out too, so the whole day got shifted back a few hours. But everything's fine now. Today is the last day it's legal to sell and set off fireworks. So that doesn't mean people will stop tomorrow, it just means there will be significantly less over the next few days. But tonight, things will probably blow up again. Which, we're not blowy uppy kind of people. So anyway, since last week, hello Chip. What are you doing, Chip? You gonna come up here? Chippies. Chippies. Last Friday was an impromptu shopping trip with Axel Spark and Lena Blue. We hit a couple thrift stores and Target and closeout stores. Just, they said it was not a big fancy trip, not planned a whole lot, but I think Lena Blue found the most dolls. Oh, like we went into one. She likes mermaids, so we went into one Goodwill and I just like, no, there's Serena here. Here's Serena Moo, and here's a Monster High and here's a Monster High, and then we can't find, she likes Ninja Turtles too, so I found a bunch of Ninja Turtle stuff. So I got cloth, which Chip is laying on. Chip, can I show the cloth? No. Eventually I'll get to the cloth. So we went into Target too, and they had a lot of dolls on clearance, which that's actually the first time I've seen Shibajuku dolls, and they definitely want to be pull-up. And they were all on clearance, so I didn't get anything. And so while we're on
I have new game.
Yes, Beetleboo sent...
It's called Huge Run Noises.
Contraption Makers, somebody, Beetleboo,
Contraption Maker.
who I'm doing a doll trade with, very kindly sent him a Steam game, and he has been playing it. It's Contraption Maker. So it's making him use his brain. So we're in Target, we're looking at the fashion dolls. The next aisle over is is it My Generation, their American Girl size dolls. But we're looking, I don't care about those, we're looking at the fashion dolls. And I hear this voice from the next aisle with the American Girl size dolls say, it's talking, and then I hear the phrase natural hair. And I think, I know that voice. So I turn on and look, and I think it's my favorite Aldi cashier. She wears glasses, and we usually talk about glasses and where we can get weird glasses and how much we like weird glasses and stuff. But since she's a cashier, I always see her, at the register. So I'm looking at this person from behind, and she's with someone who I assume is probably her mother. She's college age, I'd say. I'm bad at guessing people's ages. So I'm standing there staring at her, thinking, I think that's who I think it is. Should I say her name? What if it's not her? What if and so they're talking, and you could tell she's pointing to the dolls who have the natural hair. Of course, natural quotes because it's plastic, so and then the older woman's obviously not as impressed by it. So eventually she walks away, and then the person I think I know turns around, and it is who I think it is, and she sees me, and it's like recognition, and I walk up to her and I say, you don't know this, but my thing is dolls. If you want a doll with natural hair, I will bring you a doll with natural hair. And she laughs, and she kind of looks over at her mother who's walking away out of earshot, and she leans over to me and says, I laugh, but I would love a doll with natural hair. So I said, next time I see you, I will bring you one. I didn't see her today, so I will show you the doll that I've prepared for her. But so then she walks away, and I turn around, and Lena Blue and Axel Spark are just staring at me. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot to say to them, hey, I know this person, I think, hold on. So as far as they know, they just witnessed me walking up to a complete stranger and offering her a doll. I explained, but I thought that was amusing. So, Chip, can I show them cloth? Can I show them the cloth I got? All I bought when we were out is I bought a package of soft roller, soft bendy curlers, because when my hair's long, I like to try to curl it sometimes. Obviously haven't now. I just touched up the dye because it's such a petty reason. We have new people moved into the house across the road, and I want them to know at a glance what kind of person I am. So I touched my hair up. I might be prone to wear more black and witchy stuff over the next few days just to get the message across that I'm weird. So anyway, so it was the last place we went, the final thrift store, where I grabbed a few. We all got something there. So we all had to check out, and the only register was staffed by the ex-brony, who I learned to start making jokes before he does. And everyone else was pretty good at fending off his jokes too. So Chip, can I show them the cloth, Chip? Chip. He's hitting me with his tail. Chip. Come on, Bips. How about this? One layer at a time. A cat hair on my tongue, sorry. So, I don't need cloth. You know I don't need cloth, but I could not resist this. It's kind of a grayish, brownish, purple color. But once you look close to it, it has flecks of hot pink and bright orange and mustardy yellow and bright green and purple and even some dark, dark navy blue, and of course there's cat hair on it. So I thought this was nice. There's definitely wool in it. That's probably 100% wool. And there's enough to make a jacket. Not that I need jackets that much here, but I like to make jackets when I do so. Chip, can I have the next piece? You know, normally as soon as I close the door, he wants out of the room. I'll go ahead and pull them both off and probably make him mad because there's nothing to lay on. Okay, Tiffy? I know you're just here to see Chip anyway. So, this was the cloth I waffled over getting the most. But, tiny bees on pink. There's like a little over 2 yards of this. There's right on, I think just under 2 yards, right on 2 yards of that other one, but it was 60 inches, so that's enough to work with. And then, this was a store where I often find wax prints. And yes, these are not my colors. And yes, it says Vlisco on the selvage, and it says guaranteed Dutch wax on one selvage, and it says, what is it, Véritable wax hollandaise on the other one. Guaranteed Dutch wax, where's the other one? Yes. Véritable wax hollandais Vlisco. So I don't know if this is real Vlisco because I'm not good at navigating the Vlisco site to see what their pattern archive is. Or if it's knockoff Vlisco, but I bought it from the thrift store, so even if it is, I'm not supporting it. But look! It's fire hoses! Which is just fun. And for a wax print, this pattern is actually not that big. So, I don't know if I might use this for something Halloween. Because, you know, I like Halloween all year. I'm wearing a Halloween shirt today, and I even ordered some books recently. Halloween craft books. This is my first order from Thrift Books, which I had seen recommended on Tumblr many times. And what Thrift Books is their books start at like $3.59, $3.79 for books. Not all of them are that inexpensive. Shipping on a single book is 99 cents until you get to $10 worth of books, and then shipping is free. And if you sign up, which I didn't, then you get more discounts, and you can get this, like once you spend $50, you get your reward, which is just like $5 off or something. But I just got a few books. I got this cute little Halloween book. And this is Country Living, and actually a lot of these are on the Country Living website, like these bell ghosts. These are like, you know, paper honeycomb bells used as wedding decorations. I see Chip by the door. Chip! And then they put ghost faces and cheesecloth on it. Like, this is on the website. I've never seen it before. It's really cute. So there are ideas in this book that I like. I think is worth the less than $4 I paid for it. And Chip! This book has been at the library. It's just super bright colors. Apparently Glitterville is a brand that I'm not familiar with. And there's like super detailed instructions for everything. Pages and pages of how to form and paint things. And hold on, let me tend to Chip. Let me free Chip! But the whole reason I placed this order is when I was in high school, like 15 or 16, I was looking through my parents' had like a small library of books. Mostly, half of it was science fiction and fantasy paperbacks. That's just how I grew up. And then there were lots of reference books and DIY books, but like the 70s and 80s type flair, because that was when it was. And I found this book on solar houses, probably around early 90, 91. And it's just these houses, I just loved the way the houses looked in here. It was all tile floors and giant windows and stained wood. And it did have, I realized at the time it had kind of an early 80s look, but I liked it. And I did one project in art class where I drew one of the houses from the book where we had to do this architecture unit. And I put the book away someplace special. And I never saw it again. And for years I would try every once in a while to figure out what the book was. I knew it was a sunset book, but whenever I would look up sunset solar homes or solar houses, it would give me a book that I didn't think was it. And the book that I didn't think was it, I finally found in a thrift store a few weeks ago, and it was definitely not it. So I went home and I tried my search again and figured out that the book was Sunset Solar Remodeling. And Thrift Books had it, and they had one of the better prices on it too. So I ordered this, and this is the book that I thought it was, and I am even more aware. This book is from like 1982 or 83, yeah, 82. And I'm even more aware now of how incredibly 1980s, 1980, late 70s, 1980, the houses in here are, but I still love them so much. I don't know, I don't expect other people to understand my love for houses like this, but I do. And I would probably never live someplace where I can do solar remodeling like this, where you put a big bump out of just a sunroom on the back of your kitchen. But I am happy to have this book again. And yes, some things, well, most of these are dated and some of them are really dated. But okay, I will admit, not everything is like, when I was a kid, there was a local state park that had a nature center with solar heating. So they had these big fiberglass tubes of water, like this. So to me, that just looks like a nature center. That's not something that should be in your home. And this house is also, the house I grew up in had fake Tudor timbers and brick on it, although it wasn't that big. But so I'd say this house is probably built around the same time. They even had the same siding on the side. So it's like, this, no, don't like this. Totally 70s dated. This, yes, love this. And my dad actually wanted to do this. He wanted to close off our back porch and put in these counters over water-filled drums to collect the sunlight and radiate it slowly back into the kitchen, but he never did. It's like when I was thinking about this book, I had actually assumed it would be my mom's book because she was more of a hippie nature type, but then I remembered how much Dad wanted to do that to the back porch, so oh, this must have been his. So, like seeing this book again, and now that I'm an adult, responsible homeowner, I actually have some clue about how much of this might be helpful in the future. And this is the showcase house. I mean, they only do like 2 pages for each house, but I love this hallway. Whatever you call this, with all the wood and all the plants and all the light. So that was my thrift book sweater. But you're here for the dolls. And I'm going back to when I saw the person in Target and said, I will bring you a doll. Me being me, I went overboard and I prepped 3 dolls for her. I don't know. I only took one today and I didn't see her. So I might build up my, I mean, it's probably weird to have somebody offer you a doll when you're not a doll person anyway, and then have them say, here, take 3. Might be really weird, but we'll see where I end up with this. So what I did was, well, I did pipe cleaner curls on the doll I intended to give her, and I thought, well, that's aftermarket natural hair. So I thought, well, do I have any dolls with curls that I could give her, like from, or at least show her as being, this is how it was made from the factory. And I did have this petite. This is kind of why I decided, well, maybe I won't give her all the dolls because I do like this doll. So I made this dress for her really fast. Some of the cloth Natalia sent me. I forgot, I thought her arms were as long as a regular original Barbie's arms, but they're not quite, so her sleeves are a little long. So that's the petite. And I did take a picture of these dolls. And then I started playing around with, I had this Fashionistas Nikki / Artsy. I think she might have been called Nikki by the time this version was made. This head, which I love. I think her mouth is a little misprinted, so she has a smirk. And part of the reason I've never been fond of this head is because it's a little big, you know, balloon head dolls. But I put it on this tall body, and I think it balances out pretty well. So then I made the leggings and this shirt. I really like this shirt. It's a bit of a trapeze shirt, I guess you'd call it. High in the front, high low. And I sort of improvised. I have a t-shirt pattern that I haven't shared. But I kind of improvised around that as I went, and I really liked the way it turned out. And of course, I didn't make a record at all of what I did, so I might try to reproduce this and make it into a finished pattern to share if anyone's interested in something like this. And then this is my regular leggings pattern. I just had to make it longer for tall, of course. And also, the cloth I had that I wanted to use, the bit of cloth, wasn't long enough for me to put the pattern on it going with the grain. So I tilted it at an angle to make it long enough. And I said to myself, well, that won't be any worse than some of the ways Mattel, I almost said McDonald's, some of the clothes Mattel has released as far as being weirdly off grain. And I don't think you'll be able to see in the video how the grain starts here and then like swirls around her leg because it's so far off grain. But I was looking at this after I made it and I thought, well, let's just see what it looks like if you twist it around so the grain is straight. And it did that. And not only is the grain straight, but suddenly there's a very trendy seam. Because I don't know if it's trendy, but I've been seeing a lot of sewing patterns from the big sewing companies where there's extra seams, and usually there's color blocking, different prints and different colors worked in to the seams, so this isn't exactly like the trend, but still a fancy seam. And I thought, well, cutting it off grain, twisting it around, and having one seam on the entire leg is a very Mattel way to get this effect, so I thought it was funny, and I left it. So, and I curled her hair on drinking straws. So you see she has the bigger curls. And so petite and tall, so I decided the other one would be curvy. And I had a curvy body. It's not a perfect match for this head, but it's close. And I gave her a pipe cleaner curl, and this is the first time I've done a pipe cleaner curl where it turned out right. So the doll, I'd given my Christie hybrid, Sensational Malibu Christie hybrid, a pipe cleaner curl that I didn't do right. I didn't have enough patience. I didn't do enough sections. And also, when I did this, I misremembered how the instructions I'd seen for it to do it. The crystal at How to Play with Barbies had come up, I don't know if she came up with a technique, but it's the first place I saw it, where you take a pipe cleaner and you bend it in half so you have this V of pipe cleaner, and you're supposed to wrap the hair around one side of the pipe cleaner then the other, or one side and the other around and around all the way up to the end. I'd forgotten about that going around part, so I had the pipe cleaner folded in half so it would force me to make it short, pack the twists, the winds together, and just wound it around each pipe cleaner stem. And I used 29 pipe cleaners, so there's like 60 different pipe cleaner distinct windings for the curls. And did a regular boil set and let it dry. And then when I took the pipe cleaners out, I immediately, since I didn't use end papers because it was so small, I immediately cut off the little funny, if you've curled doll hair without using end papers, you know there's always this flat, straight part that goes off at a weird angle at the end. I immediately cut all those parts off. And then I used a needle, or maybe straight pin, to separate them out, and they immediately got all bouncy and like this. And so this was the doll I took to give her the Aldi person today and didn't see her, so I was able to bring it back and show it to you. And yes, I did make her clothes. I wanted to make my jeans, only these I didn't cut off. I made them specifically short, and since I had pink thread already loaded into a bobbin, I just did them in pink instead of miner's gold that jeans are traditionally done in. And I did a little bit of sandpaper aging in the pockets and on the things. And so since I needed to make a shirt for her, I wanted to do something fairly simple, so I thought I would do just a dolman sleeve. What a dolman sleeve is there's no seam here. It's sometimes called kimono sleeve, but it's not. It's dolman. There's no seam. It's just the sleeve is cut as one piece with the body. So I first thought was to just improvise it. Then I thought, well, no, if this turns out, maybe other people would like to do it. So I made a pattern, and actually the first time I tried it, it was too small, but the second one I tried turned out to be this. So I have the pattern pieces. So soon, maybe I'll remember to turn those into a pattern to share if you're interested. And I do want to try this. This is a knit. I do want to try this made with a woven for the body and then knits on the sleeves and cuffs and collar, just so that, or the sleeves and waist and collar, just so that I can double check that it will work with a woven, because I have to look up if things are actually trendy, and I think that dolman sleeve shirts like this that are worn by real people these days tend to be made of wovens as often as knits. So I will be giving this doll away eventually, and I'm not sure if I will give these two away because I liked her. I like dolls, which is why you're here. Although I keep thinking, if I had fewer dolls, I would sew more, but I actually don't think that's true. I mean, sew more human clothes, which I would like to sew human clothes, but I'm still sewing doll clothes. And another thing I did is, when I was making this, I had the, not revelation, but I was looking at this and I thought, this really reminds me of some of the Benetton Barbie clothes from like around 1989 or 90, which I had a few of the outfits sold separately that I bought on clearance from KB Toys. Was I in college then? Which I was in college from 92 to 95, so early 90s stuff. But this reminded me of Benetton, and so I thought, I want to make a whole bunch of clothes from this. But so far, all I have made is a t-shirt for the boy dolls. And this is plenty wide enough for young sweetheart Michael's old Ken wide, broad, articulated shoulders, and there's cat hair on it because there was a cat laying on him a moment ago. So I posted pictures of him on Instagram and Flickr too, and pictures of these three. And on Instagram I did just pictures of you can see how many pipe cleaners I put in her hair and how it looks when you first take the pipe cleaners out, which is interesting. And then her finished hair. So that's it. I don't have any plans for doll things I'm going to do. I mailed some more trade sales stuff off today, going to Canada. And I need to sew some more thanks clothes. And I hope I have I hope I've said something interesting in this video, and I hope I have more interesting things to share with you in the future. And I love your comments. But I'm not pressuring you to give comments. I like having conversations with people, and this is pretty close to just sitting down in the same room and having conversation. And I'm getting goofy and modeling again. So I'll see you next week.